Next, we dive into the transformative world of fintech with a panel discussion on the theme Fintech Catalyst Accelerating Innovation in BFSI. Please note this session is sponsored by KLM Axiva FinFest Limited. To moderate this session, we have an academician and an associate professor in information systems of IIM-Kozhikode. His academic interest lies in the areas of machine learning optimization, statistics, financial inclusion, and digital culture. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Mohammed Abdulla as the moderator for the session.
Good afternoon all. Let me invite the panelists for today. We have NSC's Head of Member Relations, Abhishek Valavalkar. Please, Abhishek. And we also have Federal Bank's Head of FinTech Relationships, Sumoth C. Sumoth, please. My name is Shahid. I am a faculty member with IIM-Kozhikode, and I'm of course very honored that I was called upon to moderate the panel discussion on innovation in financial services via fintechs. So I had a chat with both Abhishek and Sumoth prior to the panel discussion, and I think it's a very exciting field. It's a very exciting field on which there are some interesting questions that both of them will be able to answer. So let me begin with Sumoth first. Right. Sumoth, why would Federal Bank want to innovate by means of digital and that too via fintechs?
Thanks Shahid for the question. Yeah. Before coming to that particular question, I'll just share a brief of Federal Bank digital initiatives. So as you're all aware, Federal Bank is one of the fastest growing private banks in the country, and we are well known for its digital initiatives. But of course, the geographical spread of Federal Bank, right now it's around 1,500 plus branches spreading across 22 states. But we felt maybe a couple of years back, to be precise in 2022, we felt that there's a need to expand the presence to geographies and to certain segment of customers who are not otherwise banked with Federal Bank. So we thought a route through fintechs will be the ideal solution, or will be the innovative solution to reach to a segment of customers who otherwise would not have banked with Federal Bank. Maybe toward the geography or demographic space or the age space, maybe through a physical presence we may not be able to reach all those pan-India, all those 29 states and union territories. So we thought we will tie up with some prominent fintechs in the country who will be front-ending to reach the customers through digital means. But back-end, Federal Bank will offer its banking service to the customers. And I'm happy to say that as of today, before the tie-ups with fintechs, maybe we were present in around 3,000 pin codes pan-India. 3,000 pin codes means the customer's address or the locations belongs to maybe around 3,000 pin codes in the country. But as of today, without maybe expanding that much across the country, we are serving more than 9,000 pin codes in the country through the fintech partnerships. So that's the reach which we are able to achieve through the fintech partnerships. That's one thing. Second thing, we found that whatever said and that we are banks. So we have some maybe traditional approaches or and so many regulations are there. But the fintechs are more agile, more reach within the new age segment of customers and all. So let them create the front ends for the customers to bank with through some innovative means, to some flashy means and all. Federal Bank will provide the back-end banking services to those customers. So that was the whole rationale why we went to this fintech partnerships to model for banking acquisition. And I'm happy to say that we are one of the most favorite bank in the country for the fintechs to partner with.
Congratulations. Abhishek, I thought I'll ask you about a similar story of, rapid expansion in the last 4 years.
Sure.
Yeah. What is NSE's intention to ask members to innovate and expand financial services?
No, thanks, Azin. If you're discussing, say, for last 4 years, probably let's try to reflect back on the last 30 years. NSE got incorporated way back in 1994. And we all know it was predominantly more to do with the Harshad Mehta scam, which had happened. And then the government decided that there has to be an institution which can handle or facilitate the trading amongst the individuals, the retail participants, all the players. And that's how the NSE got formed way back in 1994. Now, I think when NSE got formed, there were three fundamental principles basis which the formation happened. One, to democratize the trading. Earlier, what used to happen is the trading used to get restricted to only few members. And the membership itself used to be prestigious. There used to be several months. And only if you are in that particular fraternity or if you know someone, then only you used to get membership. So the first idea was to democratize trading. The second idea was to have a screen-based trading. Earlier, it used to be we would have seen in that Harshad Mehta documentary as well, and a lot of people might be knowing. Earlier, it used to be a floor and it used to be an open outcry system. And there was hardly any visibility, transparency. The shares possibly could used to take like few weeks, few months to actually reach, and you don't even know whether you will get it for sure. And what the price discovery would be, the actual price would be. So that was second thing. And the third thing was there used to be a lot of defaults at that point of time. So the third principle was to actually have a settlement guarantee fund in place, wherein you used to say that if there is any default, the exchange is the one who will make good the loss. So these are the three fundamental principles basis which NSE started. And honestly, right, no one gave it a chance. I mean, BSE used to be around 120 years old at that point of time, the other exchange. Within, 11 months, I think 11 months or 12 months, NSE took over volumes of, whatever used to happen on the other exchange. So it's an incredible journey if you were to just reflect back as to what technology or what IT, we can call NSE as the OG of, IT back then. What technology or what role it has played back then. And today we have reached at a stage wherein we have covered around like 99.85% of the pin codes. Okay, there are only like 30 pin codes which are not covered, which are predominantly, the airports or, you don't have habitants out there. You have around like 10 crore unique PAN investors who are actually trading on the exchange. When we talk about 10 crore unique PAN investors, if you include the joint accounts, if I'm having an account with my wife or with my mom, that number comes to around 20 crore odd. Okay, so the reach has happened to that level. Third thing, you have like around 3,000 odd companies which are listed on the exchange, and the market cap, which was very minuscule when NSE got listed or when NSE started, it has reached to around $5 trillion. Okay, which is, we are the fourth largest in terms of the market cap. The first is US, second is China, third is Japan, which is around 6.5. And then, NSE's market cap is around like $5.3 trillion. So the journey, if you ask me, the entire journey in the last 30 years is nothing short of what we call as a phenomenal and something which is an incredible journey. And obviously, goes without saying that the regulatory system in general, okay, and the faith and the belief in that system and the policies which the regulators has put in, has built that kind of a trust in the ecosystem, which has made us flourish over the last 30 years.
I would actually switch to Sumoth, Abhishek, but I was particularly interested in the story of 4 crore becoming something in 4 years. Yeah.
So if you see, if you're reflecting to that 4 crore, way back in 2020, towards end of 2020, we had around like 4 crore unique PAN investors. This has gone up to around 10.5 crore unique PAN investors. So basically what we are saying is every 6 or 7 months, we are adding 1 crore of unique PAN investors. And the reason, if you are trying to get into what could be the possible reason for such a dramatic increase, there are several factors. The key factors which I want to highlight is the rise in the platform providers, the fintech players. We have heard the names of Zerodhas, Angels, Upstocks, Dhan, Moneylicious, so on and so forth, right? They have actually helped in terms of the ease of ability to access the markets. So that's one. What other things have also helped is the mobile penetration. So, trading into stocks has become a lot more easier with internet being available almost everywhere and the cost of internet also being pretty low as compared to the other countries. And the third important thing is the overall awareness which has been created because of obviously various, videos, YouTubes and, the accessibility to the information, which was not the case back then.
Sumoth, I wanted to ask you that Federal Bank is present in 3 distinct verticals using which it contacts the consumer via fintechs.
Yes.
Now, a brief about these 3 verticals and what the salient points are.
Sure. So basically, as I mentioned earlier, we tie with most of the prominent fintechs companies in the country. And basically, we focus on 3 major business verticals where we offer products, banking services, and the partners tie up with bank for services. So one of them is co-branded credit cards, where we tie up with some of the players in the country, because we normally choose partners who are maybe well-versed in that particular line of business on the co-branding side, and Federal Bank offers the banking services to the customers. For example, we have got a partner called One Card, and we got another partner called KPA, with whom we issue co-branded credit cards. So KPA is one player who is well-versed in the travel segment. So they offer ticket booking services, visa services, forex services and all. So we tied up with them to offer a travel-oriented credit card where all the offers, all the features, USP of the card revolves around the travel features. So one of the prominent feature which all of my cardholders like is that there's a zero forex markup for international transactions. So that whenever a customer goes overseas for some trip, leisure trip, business trip or something, if they use this co-branded credit card overseas, there is no markup in the forex rate. Normally, all the banks charge 3 to 3.5% markup in the overseas exchange conversion rates. So this is a full free conversion. There is no markup fee for these transactions. So almost all the travelers, frequent travelers prefer this card for overseas. Other than that, even for domestic travel, we have got multiple tie-ups with airports for lounge access, other services and all. So that's one of the vertical credit cards. The another vertical, business vertical, where we tie up with the partners is for personal loans. So we are tied up with larger marketplaces called Paisa Bazaar, Bajaj Finserv and all, where, as I earlier mentioned, they front-end to the customers, and customers come to these portals, and they avail personal loans, which is offered by Federal Bank. So just to add one more point, with all these verticals, I just want to highlight that all the services are offered 100% digital. There are no papers, no physical signatures, nothing. From the time the customer comes to the front-end channel, till the time customer avails the services, it's 100% digital, whether it is KYC, whether it is digital signing, whether it is disbursement to the bank account, everything happens 100% through the digital means. So if you take the example of a personal loan, once a customer comes to the marketplace, he chooses Federal Bank for availing a loan. So we took his bare minimum details like PAN, Aadhaar number and all, and we confirm his KYC through the Aadhaar lookup service of UIDAI. So KYC is completed there. And then we ascertain his eligibility based on the data fetched from CIBIL or the credit bureaus. So we ascertain the credit worthiness of that particular customer, and we offer a particular amount of personal loan to him, and the customer agrees that yes, I am willing to avail this particular loan. Then we complete the KYC formalities of video KYC, and even the signature happens through digital signature, e-sign signature using the NSDL, eKYC and e-sign services, and immediately the amount gets dispersed to his account. This happens within minutes. Of course, the video KYC part takes some time because that's a physical interaction with the agent. So other than that, all the interaction happens between 3 to 5 minutes. So normally you can think of a earlier era where how much time it takes for a customer to avail a loan. So this is the second business vertical which we tied up with. Third major business vertical which we tied up for opening SB accounts. So we got partners like 5Money, Jupiter, these are the major partners, where the customer can go to that particular mobile app and open an SB account with Federal Bank within minutes. Again, the same thing, KYC, photograph, everything happens digitally. So these are the major business verticals.
I think I should also add here that there is something that happens with regards to how the regulatory environment functions. And Sumoth told me something interesting, that customers, when they deal with Federal Bank, even via the fintechs, they can be quite sure about privacy. How does that work, Sumoth?
Yeah, good, very valid question. So whenever we talk about partnerships, fintech partnerships and all, people are concerned. Normally there's always a trust when they directly deal with a bank. But whether this trust will get lost when they interact with a third party and back-end bank is there, it's not the case. I mean, it's a good question you asked, right? Basically, even though the front end, the customer sees is the partner's app or partner's website, all those banking interactions, whether to capture PAN details or to capture other details or resend, everything's happen in the bank.
Obviously, one is on the business side, but first and foremost thing, we are a regulator. So the important factor that we keep on considering is the investor awareness, protection of the investors, and the integrity of the market. So that's the main and the only task, if I can put it that way. So in this new age space, right, and if you were to consider how do we cope up with this, the first thing which comes to my mind is to ensure that the right set of companies get listed on the exchange. Okay, they form the crux. And the entire futures, options, derivatives, whatever we call it, they are actually a byproduct of what the underlying crux is. So extremely important. Currently we have around 2,700 odd companies which are listed on the exchange. If you were to take, say what will happen possibly 10 years down the line, in 2024 we got around like 300 odd companies which got listed. So if you are able to keep up with the pace, say let's assume another 2,500 to 3,000 companies get listed, we are able to double it, both in terms of the market cap and as well as the number. That's one. The second piece is the intermediaries, where the digitization space will come into play. You have to ensure that end retail client is able to seamlessly trade, irrespective of whatever the volatility and the fluctuations in the market is. And the confidence in the market doesn't get eroded come what may be technologically and may be from a risk perspective, or having a certain guarantee fund in place. And the third piece is keep on focusing on increasing the awareness so that no one gets carried away by the influencers or the influencers, what we call it in today's parlance. And make it very simple for them, right? I mean, trading should be very simple. The whole idea is to encourage the investors to start tapping into the mutual funds if they are not as savvy. And as and when they possibly develop that kind of an edge in the market, they can start trading into these stocks and then eventually to derivatives only trading.
Abhishek, one question. If consumers were to invest via mutual funds, will it not on the whole reduce the transactions on the NSE platform, and how do you look at it?
No, so as I said, right, it's not from it's about what is right and suited for the customer. Our objective isn't fall, over and above what is suited for the customer. But having said this, mutual funds through various schemes that they have, they end up buying the stocks on the exchanges. Okay, obviously the number of orders or number of trades might get reduced. Instead of individual customer coming and trading on an exchange and buying one stock of Reliance, if the order is routed through mutual fund, then obviously they will place a lump sum order, and that will be the only difference. But that is not the idea. So that's not the some point you should take into account.
So these are my set of questions. I think the funny questions I was able to ask them was, I was able to ask Sumoth whether at 3 a.m. in the night you can open a savings bank account. The answer to that is yes. Right? And I was able to ask, for example, what the consequences of derivatives trading are, and answer from Abhishek was that it has evolved. So people are adjusted to the changes, and so therefore what Abhishek says about accommodating what seems right for the markets having evolved is in fact correct. Opening the stage for questions. Any?
Okay, we don't have anyone raising a question. So we take a pause right now. As mentioned earlier, this part of the program is being sponsored by KMA Finvest. We would now like to invite Mr. Manoj Reddy, who is the Chief Executive Officer of KMA Finvest, on the stage to speak a few words. Mr.
Wanted to congratulate KMA for having such kind of program, and it was very information filled with a lot of ideas and info to this panel discussion. Congratulations to all the eminent panel members. See, this kind of a forum was very much useful for we kind of people. We are into a fintech business. I represent the company KMA, which is an NBFC. NBFC is mostly into gold loan, microfinance, business loans kind of stuff. Where we were slightly traditional, and into this era we can't, sustain and survive with the old models, so that fintech or innovative aspects in the digital era we need to adopt, and we are into that particular saga right now. In our company, we have very successful products like Money, where customers can have money 24 hours. They don't want to come to our office or bank for getting money. Once they need to come for their initial visit, after that they will take money through this mobile phone. In 2 touches, they will get money into their bank account. Such kind of innovative story which we have also adopted to sustain it. So that sort of development is happening, and I'm remembering the words of Dr. Sabarinathan, then governor, to the last fintech meeting. He has actually prioritized 5 things for all fintech companies. First, we are talking about financial inclusion. Now he is talking about digital financial inclusion. That is the first priority he has said. Second, he is talking about digital public infrastructure. Everyone should, be able to contact or do this through the digital platform, even in the rural sectors. So, in 2047, the dream of our country is to become a developed economy. For about 22 years, we need to work a lot of things. For that, he is prioritizing. His third priority is consumer protection and the cyber security. So we are in a phase where a lot of things are negatively happening through this, digital platforms, where the governor is very, very particular into that. So that is the fourth priority, and sustainable finance is the fifth one, and global interaction and cooperation is major, point which we need to talk about the fintech platforms into that somewhere. So we are into this age. We can't just go, back to this fast-growing digital story, where if you ask the companies, those who are innovating stories every now and then, Kerala, we do have about 45,000 companies which is registered in corporate ministry, where only less than 10 companies are listed in the stock exchanges. We don't know exactly what is the reason. We have about 17 lakh companies pan-India, where only 5,000 old companies are listed. So they are not using the method of collecting easy money, or in the sense low-cost money from capital market. If we have money, we will go more into the digital space to innovate, and that will complement towards the growth strata of India by 2047. So I wish many companies from Kerala to come out with their own plans for IPO. We are a company which are very seriously looking forward to have our IPO in the near future. By then, so we will have more money in our hand to develop for contributing into growth saga. Wish you all the very best, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Mr. Mathew.
Thank you to our panelists for an engaging discussion on the future of fintech in the BFSI sector, on taking us through a journey of years of ease of banking, trading, etc. with agility and innovation.
Request ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Our moderator, Mr. Mohammed Abdulla. A big round of applause for Mr. Sumoth, C. And keep the applause going for Mr. Abhishek. So this is the giving hamper sponsored by Ratan.
Lucky winner is Babu Jose. Great lead.
Congratulations, Mr. Babu, from Great League. Congratulations. You won yourself from Giving Hamper from Ratan. We'll take one more. Gentlemen, we'll take one more. We'll just finish it off. We have one more today. We'll just take one more. Mr. Salan, can you please stay back with us? We'll take one more and finish it off. What it is, so after this, other four lucky winners for 50,000. So now we'll finish off the gift hamper. The last lucky winner for the gift hamper is
Mimi P.S. SCMS.
on stage. A big round of applause. Let's hear the SCMS. Give a big cheer for them. Congratulations.
He has represented India as the delegation leader in several international conferences and has presented papers in several forums. He has a doctorate in international relations from Jawaharlal Nehru University and a Bachelor of Law degree from Delhi University. Dr. Mathew initiated several reforms in the Ministry of Defence and authored India's defence offset policy. In the Ministry of Defence, Dr. Mathew steered critical procurement projects, including India's aircraft carrier. He has several publications to his credit and also regularly writes opinion pieces for leading dailies. Let's welcome both of them for this special session.
All. ഈ ഒരു സമയം ഏകദേശം 3:45-4 മണിയായി. I think it's not the best time to have a session, but with
yes,
sir,
I agree.
I'm very sure that we'll have a very interesting and entertaining session too. So first of all, thank you for inviting both of us for this valedictory section of KMA. It's a real pleasure for me actually taking some time out of my political schedule and reminiscing my corporate days. So thank you for giving me an opportunity to do that. And especially, thanks a lot for giving me an opportunity to talk and interact with Shri Thomas Mathew IAS, who has been a leading figure in the social sector, in the bureaucratic sector, and his work speaks for itself. And to start off with, I think he'll be very happy to come back to Cochin, because what I understand is that where we are sitting now, I think was something that started off when he was the collector of Ernakulam. So how happy are you to be back in Ernakulam, and how do you see Ernakulam and this property now?
Thank you for that introduction, Sabri. First, let me thank Bibu for having invited me for this session. There is a special relationship between me and him. I inaugurated his first center, and now it has expanded to 80 centers. So he has promised me to give me 50% of all the profits he makes from this year onwards, and I hope he keeps his promise. It's lovely to come back home, especially to this place, because this entire region was covered by what we call our Goshri Island Development Authority, which when we planned was almost similar to the Sentosa Island in Singapore. And we had planned a 6-lane bridge with a 5-lane in the center with 3 overhanging pathways. And we had Sitco from Mumbai come in to design the bridge, and this bridge, which is there in Mumbai today. The Worli Sea Bridge was actually designed for us, for our islands. But we lost it because at that time, Mr. Karnakaran, who was the Chief Minister, moved to Delhi, and the rest is history. Happy that this land also was a part of the reclamation that we had proposed. Thanks, Sabri, for asking me this question.
So we still have time to build another bridge here. Let's see. Wonderful. So just to give an introduction, so all of you would know that the most authoritative book on Mr. Tata and the legacy of the group, me being a former employee, just to give a brief background, I used to work in the group post my MBA from 2008 to 2015. I used to work in Tata Sons till I came back to Kerala. The last 4 years of my work life as an employee of Tata Sons, I was deputed to the Tata Trust in Mr. Tata's office. So Mr. Tata, once he retired from the group, he became the group chairman of the Tata Trust in 2011. He was the chairman of the trust as well as the group, but from 2011 to his passing away, he was the chairman of Tata Trust. So he had some special projects in mind, and three of us youngsters joined his team when he moved to the new office, and I was very lucky to work with him for close to 4 years on, not on business projects, but on things like nutrition, health, livelihoods, working in a lot of backward beyond places across India. So I have a working relationship with him as a small senior manager, youngster, 30-year-old in his office, looking up to him, like looking up to the people who come and interact with him, seeing people like dignitaries, presidents, go with him for meetings. That was the exposure I had in those brief 4 years. And one thing I can say is that it's very tough to define Mr. Tata. Like he's one of the most famous world economic leaders, one of a true nationalist from India, one of the biggest corporate names in the world, one of the biggest philanthropic names in the world. So to put a pause at who is Mr. Tata is a big question. So my first question to you, sir, is that this book on Mr. Tata, all of you should read this book. It's a very deeply researched book, so many years of his personal experience and personal relationship with Mr. Tata. He's done immense research on the different companies, on the various sectors and countries. He's spoken to so many people. So the final product, I think, is an absolutely brilliant book. And I was very happy to say that a couple of days back, I was seeing the list of top bestsellers in fiction and non-fiction, and your book soars high on that list, so congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So my first question, very curious to know, how did you get Mr. Tata to permit you to write a book, and how did you get him to talk to you? Because as far as what I know with my limited interactions and with what people, he's a very reticent, shy person. Even on the most basic things, he would like to take a step back. So talking to him, getting information, so I'm very sure that he should be very special to you, and you should be rather very special to him. So how was the process like? Because as far as I remember, he just speaks in syllables and words. We have to decipher. But how was the process like? How did you get him talking?
Thanks, Sabri. That's a tough question, but let me take you back. Can you hear me properly at the end? Can you hear me properly? You can, I guess, right? You can hear me? Okay. You know, when I speak about Mr. Tata, there are a lot of things which come to my mind. I've known this man for the last 30 years. And as Sabri said, he's very reticent. He will never speak. You have to taunt him. You have to persuade him. You have to cajole him for him to speak a few words. Perhaps he spoke to me because of the trust he had in me. And he doesn't trust very easily, although I've said in my book that is a weakness of his. When he trusts people completely. Now, what is the reason for his reticence, if you ask me? It may be because of the separation of his parents when he was only about 4 or 5 years of age. Soon after the separation of his parents, his mother got remarried and his father also got remarried, leaving him very lonely, except for his grandmother, that is Lady Navjbai Tata, the wife of Sir Ratan Tata, who took him under her wings and brought him up. Perhaps that is one of the reasons he is quite reticent. But he says, Thomas, the fact is that I don't like to speak much, but he's a great speaker, let me tell you that. He picked it up from his father, a great orator and a man of great humor. Now, how did this happen? I did not persuade him. He did not persuade me. It just happened. Like he had come to Rashtrapati Bhavan and I was in Rashtrapati Bhavan. He was the distinguished invitee of the President of India, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee. So for 2 days, we spent a lot of time together. And when I went to Mumbai, my son was also there. My son said, I want to meet Mr. Tata to find out for myself if whatever you say about him is true or not. Okay. So I said, I can't do that. I can't pick up the phone and call Mr. Tata and say, my son wants to see you, to see if you're for real, touch you and see if all what I say about him is right. But he kept on pestering me. He's in the foreign service, he kept on pestering me. So finally, I picked up the courage, picked up the phone and I said, sir, please, my son is disbelieving me. I have to meet you. Will you also meet my son? You know, this man is so humble. He turned on and told me, Thomas, if you have the time, both of you come over for dinner. Okay. So that is how the relationship with regard to the book begins. During the conversation he had with my son for about 3 hours, he was more forthright with him, spoke about snapshots of his life, about his girlfriends in the United States, how he wanted to marry his first girlfriend. It was a very fascinating experience. In fact, opened up his entire life to him. And I was a listener. I did not speak. So at the end of the conversation, I turned on and said, sir, you need to write your autobiography because it's going to inspire people. He turned on and said, Thomas, I am not going to do it. If you want to do it, you do it. And then began a journey which I always say was more than what I bargained for, because it is easy to unravel a complicated man. It is very difficult to understand a very simple man. The complexity of a simple man is more complex than the complexity of a complex man. There began my journey. And my relationship with him, honestly speaking, is maybe God-given, maybe fortunate. There is nothing under the sun that he has not told me. 140 hours of everything in his life. And the book contains only about 5% of what he told me. The rest will go in the grave with me. I cannot, because I have to ensure that I keep his confidence. Now, let me show you the kind of relationship I had. I was really fortunate to have that relationship with him because, it's people's, Tata Sons employs about 1 million people around the world. 1 million means if you look at the number of people were depending on Tatas indirectly or directly, you will go to 20, 30 million. And for a person like that to give you that kind of confidence, I think I was extraordinarily fortunate. Let me take you through some photographs to give you. Can we have the first set, please? Can we have the first set of photos, please? Go quickly, so that they can go through. This is how we used to spend time. And okay, stop here for a minute. Stop. Go back. I just want to tell you one thing. This man's humility can make you feel really small. You know, he could hardly walk. So every time I went to his house, he used to come to see me off. Can you imagine how embarrassing it is for you? So I used to tell him, sir, please don't do it either on account of age or because of prestige, stature, whatever you are. You cannot come and drop me. So he says, Thomas, don't stop me from doing what I would like to do. So therefore I used to tell him that, okay, finally midway you come, otherwise every time you drop me, I have to come and drop you back. This cycle will continue. So finally we decided that halfway this place, he'll let me go. That is the kind of humility the man has. You know, it is so embarrassing for people like us, ordinary individuals who have gained nothing, done nothing, but we believe that we are the best creation of God. That's what we believe. Now, please go to the next quickly. Let's not waste time. So this is, now hold on. Look at the humility. You will expect him to be served by people from Taj, every day, lobsters, whatever, nothing. Let me tell you, let me shock you. Half the time, he orders pizzas from a dirty pizza shop across his house. Okay? And French fries and Coke. That is all we have for lunch. Can you imagine? That is the man's, and that is his house. His office table doubles up as his dinner table. Okay, now move on to the next, please.
Sir, this is your 5th chocolate.
He loves chocolates.
This is my 6th chocolate.
Your 5th, I said.
Yeah.
So how many more are you going to have?
Is this for you?
No, sir, that's for you. Because if I steal it from you, it'll break your heart.
See, this is the kind of man he is. You know, can you imagine? Can you imagine this man who runs Tata Sons, and the turnover of Tata Sons in terms of GDP in countries, if you take, it'll be about 40th. So you are looking at $150 billion. And look at his humility. This, you know, it is a special creation for some reason. Now, this is how the book started. And just give me set 2 for 1 second, please. Give me the set 2. And plus, let me tell you, he's not all reticent. He's a funny, this is him and my son at his house, okay, when we had dinner. Okay, move fast and move on. Let me tell you something. The Tata you believe and which you know, or who you know about, is not what he actually is. He is a funny man. He's a prankster. You know what a prankster? He used to pick, you know, as Chairman Tata Sons, he used to play pranks with board members. Now, I don't know if you heard about Jamshed Baba. Jamshed Baba is the brother of the Homi Jahangir Baba, the scientist. And he used to be a board member in Tata Sons. And one day, Mr. Tata decided to fix a water pistol under the table, aim at the place where Jamshed Baba would be sitting for the board meeting. So he reached the place half an hour earlier, bent under the table, taped the water pistol, and by the time he got up, the attendant accosted him and suddenly found that the chairman was bending under the table to fix the water pistol. Now, can you imagine if Mr. Tata would have succeeded, poor Jamshed Baba would have had to get up with us.
And anyways, Thank you all. I think I'll hand over the mic to Thomas Mathew to conclude. And
there's so many things to say. What he used to love the. It's actually it has come out in Manorama. My mother, typical Syrian Christian lady, used to make the best of cutlet, which was taught to my cook, and you won't believe. It's such a huge privilege that he used to love the cutlets which my cook used to make. It used to be flown in from Delhi for him to eat for lunch. And he said, Thomas, spice little less, but it's fantastic. I mean, it's been a great journey, let me tell you. I mean, I wish I'd lived for another.
So what happens to the records? It's like the classified Kennedy files.
No, see, his interviews, I will destroy it. That cannot come out because I cannot breach his trust. I don't know what he would. There are many things he has spoken about his mother, his father, his relatives, on everybody he has spoken. Brutally, honestly, he has spoken. So I can't, breach that trust for. No, I'll tell you something very interesting. One day, not to quote me, so one day I told him, sir, I have an idea. I was planning to sell all your tapes to Cyrus Mystery or somebody for a price. So he said, sir, how much will you give me? He said, nothing. I said, why? I said, sir, at least 50 crores, 100 crores, 200 crores, you think? He says, no. I said, at least 5 crores? He said, you won't get nothing. I said, why? Because I know you won't sell it. So that is what he is. The great. I wish you, you won't believe it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if I should tell you that. After the book was completed, he had promised that he will come to Parimala Church. That's my patron saint.
So thanks a lot, sir. I think it's...
So we'll take questions if there are any questions. Otherwise, we will go on like this for the next 16, 17 hours.
Somebody needs to stop us, I think. Okay.
Any questions? You can ask anything, no holds barred.
Since the paucity of time, we'll take those questions offline.
Sure.
Yes, the books are available behind in the stall and the author himself is there to answer and also to personally sign each and every copy that you buy. Ladies and gentlemen, we take a pause right now as we invite our KMA dignitaries on stage. President Mr. Bibu Punuran, Convention Chair Mr. K. Harikumar and Honorary Secretary Dr. Anil Joseph to join the dignitaries on stage. Mr. Thomas Mathew, IAS, the author of the book Ratan, Tata, A Life, would now present a copy of the book to everyone on stage. On October 9, 2024, perhaps for the last time, we lost a businessman with a human face. Perhaps for the last time, a country came together to mourn for India's most respected business leaders we have. Ladies and gentlemen, I request you to kindly stand as we give a standing ovation for the man, the late Mr. Ratan Tata, the visionary, philanthropic, humanitarian and charismatic Ratan Tata's legacy lives on. Now requesting the KMA dignitaries on stage to kindly recognize the panelists now. As a token of our appreciation, we would like to present Mr. K.S. Sabarinathan and Mr. Thomas Mathew IAS a memento.
And Dr. Thomas Mathew for that heartfelt and inspiring conversation that left us with invaluable lessons from Mr. Tata's life. The complexity of a simple man is much more complex than the complexity of a complex man. These words so true for an illustrious life. So many wonderful stories you shared with us, and he came alive for all of us. A big heartfelt thank you from all of us at KMA.
I request the dignitaries to kindly stay back on stage, as we would like to pick up the last 4 people, the last 4 lucky winners who are amongst you. It could be you. And thank you so much for staying back till the end. I request the representative from Miralda Jewellers to kindly come forward.
First prize, 50,000. Surprise winner, Dr. Thomas Mathew.
Do we have Savio CJ here? Okay, wonderful. Can you quickly run to the stage?
Rajagiri College of Social Science. Savio, can we make a deal? Savio, can we make a deal?
Congratulations to Savio, and a big round of applause for him as he gets 50,000 rupees. Can we hear the Rajagiri make some noise? Congratulations. Now we take the next winner. We have 3 more to go. Yes.
Akash Soruva, SF Technologies.
No. Is Akash in the room? Do we have Mr. Akash in the room? Is he turning out to be unlucky? Okay, we do not have an Akash here, so we go on.
Swiped out fire from it. Lakshmi, yes, SCMS.
Is Lakshmi in the room? Oh yes, we have Lakshmi coming in. She also gets this gift voucher of 50,000 rupees from Miralda Jewellers. Lakshmi, if you could quickly walk in, yes. 2 more to go. How many of you would like to have it? Yes? You desire it, you will get it. As we applaud for Lakshmi, congratulations Lakshmi. Okay, the next one. I can hear some heartbeats here.
Arjun CS, SCMS, Cochin School of Business.
Do we have Arjun? Can you quickly come forward? Let's not waste time. Please, please. The students are indeed turning out lucky this evening. Please come forward. Congratulations, a round of applause for Arjun from SCMS. He also grabs a gift voucher of 50,000 rupees. And the last one. It could be you. We'll shuffle it.
Anil George Joseph, Harrison's Malayalam.
Is Anil Joseph here?
Anil George Joseph,
Anil John Joseph?
Harrison's Malayalam. Please.
Oh yes, the last person walks in, Mr. Anil Joseph. Please, please come in. Hearty congratulations, Anil. Round of applause for Anil. Thank you. I I request Dr. Anil Joseph to please stay back as we take a moment to thank everyone. We also have a short video and a surprise for you. We would like to place on record a big thank you to our partners, without whom we wouldn't have been able to do this mega event. We would like to specially thank our diamond partners, the Cochin International Airport, SIFI, our gold partners, AWS, Star One IT, Aptiv, Bank of Baroda, Kottakkal Ayurveda, KLM Axiva, Finvest Limited, ICICI Prudential Life Insurance, our silver partners, the Cochin Shipyard Limited, South Indian Bank, Agape, Meralda Jewelers, our supporting partners, Medivision, CMRL, Unimoney, Varma Homes, UST, Seacons, V-Guard, Bharat Petroleum, Tropicana, Indian Oil, KSIDC, and Ramco. Also, a big thank you to our media partner, Asianet News, our business media partner, Danam Business Media, our branding partner, Organic BPS, and our academic partner, Rajagiri and SCMS. Over to Dr. Anil. Yes.
Good evening, all. So what a wonderful session we had. It was really exciting to hear the story of Ratan Tata unveiled here. Thank you very much, Thomas Mathew sir and Shabri, for doing the great job. I would like to thank all the delegates who have come over here, past presidents, MC members, and all the delegates who have come over here and made this a success. Special thanks to the KMA team, who was from office team, who has done an excellent job under the leadership of Jojo and Prajit. And thanks to Neil and Jasni for doing that wonderful MC job. Thank you, Neil and Jasni, for that. And let's have a short video, a summing up video for the entire event which has happened. Over to you.